so good at this. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday night Voice of the Baltic Star. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. We really appreciate it. It's Saturday night or Saturday afternoon for some of you, or Saturday early evening for others, and you're giving your time, if only for a short while, to come and listen and see what we're going on. It's mostly listen. I'll give you that. There's not much going on visually today, unless you want to look at our tiny, beautiful faces. You can sort of close your eyes, and close your eyes, or do your washing up, or do your needlework, or whatever it is you do. Game Sled, we love a support there. Thank you for joining us tonight. Just settle back and enjoy, because we're telling a wonderful story tonight about a wonderful man. To Grey Hill indeed, James. To Grey Hill. It's not Grey Hill that we're telling a story about tonight, in fact, but we always like to remember Grey Hill. It's a man nearly as good as Grey Hill. Hey, DJ, how you doing? You all right? Thank you for coming in for a bit. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it while you're here. First time chat as well. Really appreciate it. So, we are Boys from Baltic Star. It's our Saturday night. Saturday night we do one-shots, stories, weird bits and pieces, some of our short adventures or less weekly adventures. As always, though, you can follow us on Twitter at Boys Baltic, on Instagram, Boys from Baltic Star, or follow or like us on here. That'd be wonderful as well. Thank you. Legendary Creations in as well. Oh, Legendary Creation loves Dave. What you can do, you can see the little red sun in the corner, or wherever it is for you, whatever you're watching. That is Imperial Credits, and you can spend it how you want on things which will impact you mostly. There's some musical things, some annoying things, there's some fun things. There's one that makes Ben drink, I recommend that one. There's one that makes Ben resplend, I recommend that one especially. Yes, please, if you want to chat, please feel free to chat, we'll interact, especially when we're not role-playing personally. One of us will be in there chatting or whatever. We chat and so on. We press the forces quite a lot. Yeah, if you want to lurk, just if you want to chill out, just catch a vibe of it, please do that. Thank you so much. My name is Luke. I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. Hello. My storage heat's just gone on really hot, and I'm really sweating. And I've got this stupid blue t-shirt on again today, so I'm just a floating beardy head. Any excuse. We've got Ben's night off, Ben, so you will drink.
Oh, excellent. Good start.
I'm just a floating beardy head. That's terrifying. Yes, but hello, I'm Luke. Next to me is the man who I would normally introduce last, but he is not the GM tonight. No, he is a fellow lover of Dave, maybe Dave's second best friend. It is the smartest man in any room. The man who lives 24 hours a day in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. How's the beard going? Okay. It's Ben. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. Yes, looking forward to this. It's always fun to get to be a player instead of a GM for a while. And I had a thoroughly nice time at this last time. So I'm playing Tim Chappell this evening, a lovely, lovely chap who is Dave's very best friend in all the world.
If the world is a very narrow space,
talk.
maybe your world. Thank you for that, Legendary. We don't normally have background music. I just forgot to turn it down. Sorry, that was a bit annoying. Sitting two along, the American in the room.
I'm sorry.
But we're doing our bit for the community today. An absolute joy. What have we done together? We've killed goblins together. We've gone for Olympic competition together.
Yes.
And now we're working together to save Dave. It is Dave's third favourite friend in the entire world.
I mean, is that what he told you?
That is what I told him. It is Sparrow.
Me.
It is okay. Fourth then. It's Sparrow. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Tonight I'm playing Cody Hodgson, who is a mechanic. He is Dave's best friend, best and first best. You know, like we've been tight for years, you know.
Mhm.
We're on an adventure to save Dave. Cody is driving because, you know, I think that he has the best sense of where Dave might be because they're so close.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I'm always happy to play with the boys. This is this just makes me so happy.
Clip it. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, we'd love to invite you. We love having you along.
We're always happy to have you.
You are part of the crew after all, so thank you. And yeah, so I'm playing Nigel Spatchcock, who is Dave's best friend. And the person playing everyone else in this entire world is our GM for tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, the man with the headphones for poning noobs. The man with a lovely, lovely banner behind him, showing the correct level of respect. He's dressed for the background, which I like. Gone yellow for Save Dave. I like it.
Yeah. It's my Save Dave t-shirt.
Did Dave get it for you?
No, I'm not his best friend.
Oh no. Well, then what are you today, Ewan?
I'm many things today. The last time we left a ragtag group of acquaintances, Dave's best friend and two others. The last time we left them in a small town in Britain called Western. You're going to have to correct me because I'm going to get this wrong. Shardenvildenton.
Shardenvildenton, yeah. Classic English town name. Very good.
The last time we left them, they discovered that their dear friend, the one shining ray of light in this otherwise dreary backwater town in England, had gone missing. They hadn't seen Dave for far too long. They bumped into each other at his apartment. Got no help whatsoever from his beige, dull flatmate Sam.
Sam's a sociopath.
Investigated around a little bit. Found Sam with some embalming stuff and some dead animals in the fridge. Got a little bit worried. Investigated some more. Hacked into, just stumbled across the code for Dave's answer phone messages and realised that Dave was meeting somebody at the Old Mill. Headed out to the Old Mill and had a bit of a run-in with a rival group of Dave's best friends, or people who at least thought they were Dave's best friends, who appeared to, from the last you heard, have some form of clue that they were following. And I think you sped off after them in your, or Cody's, I should say, 2011 Audi A4, pursuing them to wherever they were going. Which is where we'll pick up now, as you pull away from the old abandoned, some in the town say haunted, mostly the little primary school kids, mill, out of the gravel car park, through some country lanes, dimly lit, following the well lit up car in front of you, quite quickly down the country lanes as you sort of get back onto the main roads, into the main section of this small little town, or the main road through this small little town. Now would be the perfect time for you to each regale us with a story of you and Dave. In whichever way you feel more comfortable, you can talk it out in character with the group, you can flashback, you can do whatever you like.
Well, as we head off along the road, then I will tell an instructive story of Dave to the others. I'll say, so a couple of years ago, Dave and I were having a chat, and he suggested we might do a scary movie one summer's evening. And Dave said, oh, let me take care of it. And then he sent me a message saying, meet him at the open air swimming pool in the middle of town. And when I got there were about 6 or 8 of us there waiting for him. And he turned up and he said, come on, everyone in. And we all jumped in the pool, and he projected Jaws against the white wall of the changing rooms while we bobbed around in the swimming pool. It was brilliant. Classic Dave.
Oh, classic Dave.
He always knows exactly which movie you feel like watching at any given time. That is one of his many good qualities. It must be said. It must be said.
I must say, my story is very also involves fish.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as big, but I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago when we sort of go around to Dave's and sort of in his he never had people in his bedroom so much, but sitting around in the lounge, and he'd have that goldfish bowl with the goldfish in, and it was a lovely goldfish. I'm sure you remember. It always seemed so happy and brightly, vibrantly coloured, happy eating the food, sort of come up and sort of almost smile at you as you're in. And when Dave would enter the room, it would literally, if he started at one side and walked past the tank, the fish would literally follow him across it, giving like little fishy, goldy fishy doggy eyes at him. You could almost hear that in his sort of bubbling out of his mouth. And Dave loved that fish. And one day, I was sat there, a little bit drunk, it must be said. You know when the parties wear down and Dave's so lovely, he doesn't force you out, does he? He never rushes you out. And I was sat there and he said, what's up, Nigel? And I said, I've never had a pet. I feel so jealous of you. And I know it's wrong, but I hope you understand. And Dave said, don't worry about it, Nigel, don't worry. Why don't you take my beautiful goldfish? And cause he's like that. He was just so giving, wasn't he? And I was so excited. I took this resplendent goldfish home. Oh, such a happy, joyous goldfish. And I was so excited to start my life with it the next day. And I came downstairs ready to feed it in the morning. And it had jumped out onto the floor and committed suicide.
I mean, if you took me away from Dave, I'd probably do the same.
I guess it just didn't want to be away from Dave anymore.
Trying to make its way back.
Exactly.
To the only human it ever loved.
That was that little wet trail of half a foot where it sort of shuffled itself towards the door. Oh.
Yeah, he's a considerate guy. He's a sweet guy, but he's just so practical too. I was having a barbecue. You all were coming, and 15 minutes before, really, I needed to light the grill. I was starting to look over what was on the kitchen counter, going down the list of all the necessary things. And I realized that I'd forgotten to make a potato salad. Judy, she always makes potato salad and nobody likes it. But you got to let her bring it. You got to let her bring the potato salad.
Oh, yeah.
But then 15 minutes before, and I'm just looking, and I don't have a single spud in the house. Not a single thing. I'm out of mayonnaise. There's not even any vinegar left because I put it all in the barbecue sauce. Dave comes strolling in with the perfect potato salad.
Oh, that's so good.
Makes it just the way I do. He must have been, he pays attention so carefully. He just, sometimes when he's eating, you just see him stop and think about what he's eating, and he's breaking down the recipe. And he did that for me then. Saved the day. He saved the day.
What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah. Special guy.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all sit back and almost daydream off about the wonders of Dave, you come back into the town proper. There is a town sign, welcome to Western Sheldon Bildington, population 316. The car in front seems to be, I mean, you all know the area reasonably well, but particularly Cody knows the area rather well, being a mechanic and quite fond of a drive, I imagine. They seem to be driving around quite erratically, not erratically. They they seem to be driving around without much purpose. This group of rival Dave friends that I think from your last encounter, you all got the impression that they weren't the brightest tools.
Yeah.
Or the sharpest tools in the shed.
They were definitely tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
most
chap called
certainly.
Jamie Drake we met, who seemed to be their leader.
Yes.
And he was a complete half-wit, so the people who followed him must be even dumber.
And dangerous.
Mm.
Completely off the rails at Dave missing. Like, at least we're being sensible about this.
Absolutely.
We're not driving at them with our vehicles.
No, we had a sandwich before we left, so we wouldn't get hungry.
Mm-hmm. You think clearly.
Exactly.
We're doing this methodically. We went to the mill. He wasn't at the mill. We're going to the next place.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is why Dave liked us so much, I think.
Yeah, that's why I'm his best friend.
I don't like to correct you when you're driving. You're busy.
Cody rolls up his sleeve just a little, like one more fold on each arm.
a bit of.
I'm
a
liking
bit of
this discontent in the party now. But as you sort of drive around, you see loads of loads of the town that you don't always places you don't often go. You pass the old bowling alley in the local pub. In fact, you pass the local pub 2 or 3 times because they clearly have no idea where they're going. And about half an hour later, after following them, you pull into the car park of the local library. And they park up and they get out their car. You're not terribly far behind them, but you're not right up their bumper. It's not obvious that you've been following them, I wouldn't say. Well, yeah, that as well.
I think we can all agree that if this particular group have pulled into a library, they're clearly lost.
I'm surprised down that road. I've never been down that road before. I never knew that we had an Italian Korean fusion place.
Yeah, we should go there sometime next week.
I think maybe we can go with Dave. I bet he'll get us in. No queuing or anything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I've been there with him.
What? Oh, me too. Yeah. I know that place. Yeah, I've been lots of times. It was always in the daytime. The darkness made it look a bit different.
Yeah, it was the week before Christmas, and everyone's getting their cars tuned up for the long trip up north. And brought by some beers, and he's like, "Hey, you look stressed. You want some dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be real good." And we went there. It was okay. When we go, I'll point out what you probably shouldn't try.
I always love it when people make those long trips up north in the country. It's like 2 or 3 hours here in the UK. Long drive. I definitely need a cartoon up for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you ever been that far, Tim? 3 hours. It's a long drive, man.
I have a horrible feeling if you drive for 3 hours in any direction, you're in the sea, aren't you?
This is hurting me so badly right now.
So these guys, I mean, they haven't just parked up and staying in the car. Have they got out and gone into the library, or what are they doing?
No, they've parked up. It seems to take a little while, but they all get out the car. Just quickly, Nigel, what's the name of the Italian Korean fusion place?
It will be called. Hang on.
No pressure or anything.
No, I'm trying to think. Come back to me. Hang on, I think.
Yeah. Just mull it over. But they do, in fact, they get out the car. They sort of look around a little bit confused. And one of them starts pointing in the direction of the front door of the library. And they make their way up the steps, past like a community notice board that's outside, and head in.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go around the block one more time, and then we'll park somewhere inconspicuous and go look at the community board, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you circle the block, past the pub another time, and a few other. In fact, you probably drive past the Italian Korean fusion place. Vaguely, as you're driving, you go back to that wonderful dinner that you had with Dave.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what to order and exactly what you wanted.
It was the best part of each culture's noodles. You know, like I've never had a noodle like that before.
Yeah. The noodle.
The translucent semolina. It was intriguing.
And you pass that, and you pull back into the car park, and are free to do what you want. Their car is still there. There is no sign of them.
So notice board. Are we heading there? Seems logical to me.
Makes a lot of good sense.
At least if we can work out what they were looking at. I mean, maybe they were trying to work out what the weird squiggles mean, because they're not bright. But we might have a better chance.
Yeah, the notice board's in the entryway.
Yeah, it's just outside. So as you approach the double doors going in, you go up some steps, and then off to the left there is a locked notice board on the outside of the building. So
yeah,
it's
Cody
accessible.
will walk up there with them, but then he'll just kind of lean against the opposite wall while Ben's character looks over the notice board.
Okay. All right. I'm peering at the notice board and just scanning it to see if anything pops out that's interesting.
I mean, there is a plethora of stuff on the notice board. There's an advert for the local cricket team who are about to start their new season, looking for players or people to come along to practice. There's an advert for some kids STEM stuff that will teach your kids how to make paper airplanes and the science behind it. There's an advert for the new Italian Korean fusion place.
Wait, did I put up that notice for the paper planes?
If you want, you're more than welcome to have put it up. That is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So you see Cody's name. Teach kids the science behind making the best paper airplanes. Fun and educational as well. You see some other stuff. There's burger night at the local pub on Wednesdays. There's a storage facility called We Store, where you can pay them to keep hold of your stuff.
Store your wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 90% of their storage, maybe. Who knows?
Oh
Who
no.
knows? No questions asked, it says down the bottom. So you'd imagine that they don't even know how much wheat is stored in their storage. There's a couple of other sort of library notices. There's an email. There's a few bits and pieces like that, and there's a notice in there for it's a club. It says the Anti-Dave League meets at the library every Friday.
What?
Around
wrong
3
with these people?
around 3 p.m. New members welcome. Please, no troublemakers. And that's
So nobody can attend then.
well, you would assume so, being as Dave is such an upstanding member of society.
The Anti-Dave League. I mean, does the timing line up so that they might actually be meeting now?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. It's Wednesday. What day is the meeting?
Friday.
Friday.
Okay.
Anti-Dave League. This sign must be new.
This is not right.
This has taken a dark turn.
There's a contact email, but there is no phone number. Presumably, nobody wants to put their phone number to this horrendous
I
piece
would
of.
imagine so. Cody pulls out his phone and sends a very indignant email to that email address. What is wrong with you? That's it. That's the email.
Is it a generic email like we hate Dave at whatever, or is it like accidentally someone's name?
No, it's very much a generic anti-Dave League 32 at hotmail.com type.
He might live at number 32. Make notes. This is very important.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We're gonna put an egg through the door of everyone that lives at number 32.
Yeah, every number 32
Every
in the
number
town
32
is,
in the
is now
town.
getting egged. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sickos.
Yeah. But those are the most noticeable things on the notice boards.
We're gonna go ask the librarian about this flyer. Let's see who put it up.
The library is open.
There's
Yep.
only 312 people in this town. The librarian must know this person.
Wow.
Well, the notice board is locked, so somebody had to unlock it in order to allow someone to put the flyer up, or somebody had to be asked to put it up and put it up as part of their duties.
Yeah, let's go ask the
So-
librarian.
So yeah, this is what we need to do.
Mhm.
So yes, absolutely. Tim is definitely with Cody. We're on this one.
He indignantly stuffs his phone back in his pocket as we go into the door.
We will get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, perfectly. Okay, you walk through the double doors and you come into like another little welcome area. There's another area before you approach another set of double doors that doesn't appear to be used for much other than people wiping off their muddy shoes and not traipsing crap through the library. There's a couple of doors off. There's one door off to the left, one door off to the right. It looks like this is toilets. They've got the classic male female toilet signs you would find in all small towns of the UK. You go through the double doors and there is a desk with a lady stood behind. And it opens up. It opens up into a very long, sort of thin, old-looking building. Bookshelves, obviously, all over the place. A couple of computers down the side, and there looks to be a lift and a set of stairs at the end.
Any sign of Drake and the Ducklings?
I would say with all the bookshelves and things around, this is probably going to be slightly challenging. So unless you feel as though you have a skill or an occupation that may help you find them in a library.
Well, absolutely. I have possibly the best skill in the sense that I'm a bartender. It is literally my job to spot people in crowded and obscured places.
That is true. I will give you that. You have a very good look around the room, and you can't see them.
Okay.
Is there a librarian?
Yes, there's a librarian. So while I will spend just a moment. I won't go into the main library part yet. I'll sort of walk a bit from side to side, see if I can catch a view of what they're doing or where they are, and if I can't, then I'll stay close to the librarian for the time being, close to the front desk.
Okay, cool, perfect. Nigel, is there anything in particular you would like to go straight for in the library?
I would like to first of all say that the Italian restaurant's name, the Italian Korean fusion, is Leonardo da Kimchi's.
Well, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fine restaurant. I don't like kimchi myself, but I like Italian, so I'm sure I can enjoy it. I'm I've got a jerry rigging skill, and what I'd love to do, if possible, Ewan, is I'd like to find some sort of old, there's always sort of newspapers and things like that in libraries, as well as the books and things like that. What I'd like to do is using some of that and a bit of anything that could be sticky. I would like to try and jerry rig up a working. What's the thing? A periscope with my phone connected to one end on camera, so I can look into it. And if someone else can lend me one of theirs to put at the top, so I can try and look over the bookshelves to see if I can see anything.
Yeah, I'll lend you mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fantastic. So after I drop Cody's phone accidentally a couple of times, because I'm good at jerry rigging, not at manual skills.
It's got one of those extremely bouncy covers. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you are a mechanic after all. You've got exactly the right sort of phone for a mechanic.
Yeah. To be fair, since you're effectively at the entranceway to the library where I am, I can help out a bit, and I've got juggling as a skill.
So you're like, well, you've stopped it from hitting.
So I can probably save the phone.
So I can just grab some sort of tape or something and just try and wind them all together and create some kind of thing with an idea that I can sort of get a bit of height, if that's okay, Ewan.
Yeah, I'd say this is certainly possible if you want to do it without the librarian seeing that you're folding up and taping together the newspapers for the purposes, the sole purposes.
Newspapers.
Yeah, well, exactly. I would say this is going to take a roll.
Okay, that's fair.
You could spend a luck point, or you can roll.
I'm going to toss my coin. It needs to be a tail to be a success, doesn't it?
Yeah. Tails succeeds. Heads fails. Tails never fails.
Oh, that nearly hit that. It failed this time, though. It's a heads.
So as you reach up for the first newspaper and pull it down, as if there's a sixth sense in the librarian, she looks up from her book, pushes her glasses up onto her face, and just looks over. And then as you start to fold, she just coughs.
I'll go.
At which point she comes out from behind the desk and starts walking over to you and says, "Those are public use newspapers."
I'm sorry. I thought I saw a fly. I was going for it. I'm sorry.
Well, we have a fly swatter. If you wish to borrow one.
Is it public fly swatter? Oh.
This is a public library.
The public fly swatter doesn't count against my card. I can't take 3 books in a public fly swatter, can I?
Do you have a library card? Can I see your library card?
I do actually. Nigel's a bit nerdy, so yeah, he reaches in, pulls out his wallet, and carefully covering his name, he sort of shows the library card. No, the expiry date's okay and everything. There we go. See?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Is there anything in particular you're looking for that I can help you? I can help you find any books you're after.
If I know the library well enough, Ewan, what is the furthest, something in the furthest corner? What sort of section are we looking at? Is that going to be the research library corner? Is that the kiddie corner?
If you're furthest away from the door, from where you are now, would probably be the, knowing small town Britain, would be the self-help section.
Okay. Well, I really need to improve my self-help, and but because I'm so bad at it, I need someone to help me find the self-help books that I need for self-help. It's quite quiet here. Are you okay to come over and sort of show me where it is and how to find my way around the sections to get what I need to? I've not been in that section before.
Of course, I can show you the way. There's a bell on the counter if anybody requires assistance. Follow me, and she'll walk you down. She'll take a turning, and your head sort of is a bit of an L shape. So you'll go down the long section towards the stairs and the lift, and then you'll head right and head down towards the end of that section, where you will find all the self-help books. As you start approaching, to say, was there any particular topic that you were after?
I will say I want to say like dealing with loss really. But I want to try and say it in Esperanto. I want to see if she's a fellow Esperanto speaker to try and like make her friendly towards me. She might. The chances are she's not, but I'll say it anyway. I was trying to say dealing with loss in Esperanto.
She sort of looks at you a little bit puzzled, a little bit surprised, I think, at first. And then she answers in Esperanto, funnily enough, and says, I'm sorry to hear that. Let me show you where they are. I hope it wasn't anyone too close to you.
Oh, the closest, but still in Esperanto. The closest, but hopefully they can be found again. Your Esperanto is perfect. The accent is so neutral and boring. It's perfect.
I think she takes that as you would expect, as a bit of a backhandish compliment, and seems a little bit taken aback and says, "Well, thank you. Yours is quite good too." Here are the dealing with loss self-help books. There are, as you see, it's quite a small section, but we do have some choice. If you require anything else, I'll be back at the front desk dealing with my work. And she says to you in Esperanto.
And I'll say Dankon, which is thank you in Esperanto. I've just learned.
Good googling.
Yeah, thank you very much. That Dankon. I'm trying to build the character. You see, Dankon.
Nigel, did you find out about the poster?
Dankon. No, I know it anyway. Which one? I was gonna. My idea was to drag him away if you wanted a minute or two to have a quick look around before she came back. But I'm happy to as well.
We'll let Tim do that. Cody wants to know about the poster, so he's going to follow the librarian with you.
Cool, brilliant.
Okay, cool. Well, what we'll do is we'll cut to Tim briefly as this has been going on, because he's had a bit of time since he came in and started looking around, just to see if there's anything else that Tim would like to do, and then we'll cut back to presumably Cody and the librarian.
Tim's not going to do anything too radical. Don't want to.
No periscopes.
No periscopes, and I don't want to do anything that's unforgivable if suddenly caught, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So walk around the back of the librarian's desk and start pulling open a drawer or two, looking specifically, because it's the kind of thing where you can say, I was looking for a stapler or something if you get caught. But what I'm actually looking for is any notes about who puts things on notice boards. Is there a log of them? Is there, anything like that kind of thing?
Okay, yeah, sure. Make a. Do you think you've got any skills that would?
Really not. I don't think. No.
I think it's probably pushing it. I saw writing and then I realised it was limerick writing and
a bit of Star Wars fan fiction. It turns out, but that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So make a roll for me.
Okay.
Or you can spend a luck to succeed.
I only have the one luck, and I might need it to escape an enraged librarian. So no.
That seems reasonable.
That's a 2. Is evens good or bad?
Evens, you succeed.
Hooray!
Oh, excellent.
So you, the drawers are actually locked when you first go around. You start looking, trying to pull open these drawers, but you do see that there's a little shelf just underneath the desk that has it's got her ID lanyard. For some reason, the librarian is not wearing. It's got a set of 2 keys, which you try the first one and it opens, and as you later look at the keys, they are both identical. You can open up the drawers, and there's a lot of index cards in there, with a lot of names, some of which you're familiar in the town, and lists of books after them. There is no computer behind this desk. It appears as though it's all it's a small enough library and small enough town that they can keep hold of this manually for now. So you look through all of that. You go a couple of drawers down, and there's some paperwork. There's some bills. There's some non data protection as we would know it nowadays. You know, it's not full of employees and various bits and pieces, but there are, you know, a few bills, some junk mail, which is clearly, you know, where they're just chucked stuff. But you can't. There's nothing related to the notice board here. There certainly aren't any, you know, invoices, or if they charge for it. There certainly aren't any notes of to be taken down on such and such a day or anything like that.
Okay. Then in that case, I will quickly shut the door and the drawer and make my way back to the front of the desk and look as nonchalant as possible.
Okay, perfect. For a barman, that won't require a roll.
Good.
Are you going to stand clear of cleaning a glass?
Got a towel over one shoulder.
Yeah.
You know?
Always has a towel just in case.
And as you finish that, it's probably around the time that Nigel has finished talking to the librarian. She again points you in the direction of the books in Esperanto, turns around to walk away, and Cody is right there.
Yeah. Cody's looking at Nigel and saying, "Did you ask her about the poster?"
Nigel will respond in Esperanto saying, ask her yourself.
Cody just does this. The librarian. What's the librarian's name, Ewan? Clearly, Cody's been here before to get his poster hung up.
Yes. The librarian's name is Jill. Her first name is Jill. She, in fact, as Nigel says this in Esperanto, she sort of looks back at him and then looks towards you and looks back again, and then just, what, you wanted to ask me something?
Jill, who hung up that anti-Dave poster?
That'd be the anti-Dave League. Yeah, but they meet here they hang out here quite a bit. But they meet here every Friday. I hope you understand I'm not at liberty to give away names.
Cody steps in like gently and conspiratorially, not like in a threatening way. He's not trying to be threatening, but just sort of like tender, like I'm going to include you in an important secret kind of way. And says, "Jill, Dave's missing. We got to find Dave."
Dave's missing, you say, yeah?
Yeah. Who could be against Dave?
I don't know. I mean, I saw Dave was here. What day are we today?
Friday. Wednesday.
Wednesday. I saw Dave. He's been in recently. He has definitely been in. Let me
But there's this anti-Dave league, and obviously there are suspects. We gotta find him.
I mean, are they suspects though? Just because somebody is anti something and something goes missing doesn't mean it's going to be those people.
Jill, you gotta want to find Dave.
Find Dave, man.
You know I want to find Dave, and you, in fact, you do know that Jill is Dave's sister.
Awesome.
I mean,
Awesome.
she's heavily invested in finding Dave, and she said, "Of course I want to find Dave. Look, let me just check the records, because we keep records of people that come and go, especially if they ask for something.
We need a clue."
Because he's been in quite a bit recently, and she'll come back to the front desk with me, and I'll check out when he was last here, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there, and she'll walk you back to the front desk, and as you walk along, passing the various other sections of books in this library, she'll say he's been in quite a bit recently. He's been looking at the I don't know why I never really, we don't really talk about stuff other than family bits, but he was looking in the public records quite a lot, which you would know is stored in the library as well as the books. He's been in checking out that quite a lot, obviously not on Fridays, or he tries not to come in on Fridays, I guess, if he can avoid it.
How long have they been meeting?
Probably 3 months now. I think they actually officially meet every other Friday. They haven't changed the poster yet, but they hang out.
How could you put this poster up against your own brother?
I mean, it's my job. I work in the library. I've got to put up the community notices. There's quite a, there's not quite a few, but there's 5 or 6 of them, and they meet here when they're not officially meeting as well. They kind of use it as a bit of a safe space, which I'm all about encouraging safe spaces, as you know. And I think it's good for people like that to have somewhere to sit down and to vent and to discuss things. And I think that can take away from any action that may come from these sorts of things. I don't think they're a danger, and I think the fact that they have somewhere to meet probably lessens any threat that they may have towards good old Dave. And you arrive back at the front desk, and she starts.
Yeah. Cody has no reply to any of that. He's just got this expression on his face, like.
Yeah, she's got a bit deep. You're welcome to. As she takes the key out and she opens up a desk and pulls it out, and there's another set of like a diary, basically a booked diary. So she starts flicking through, and if you've got anything you want to say to her, it'll take her a couple of minutes to find today's date, or to go back from today's date and find the last.
No, Cody's just gonna stand there in awe. Not necessarily the dedication to her job, but the blindness to human decency.
Yeah.
In his mind. To post.
Obviously, Tim's right there, but he's not going to interrupt while she's doing something in case it turns out to be something positive.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has questions.
Yeah.
And she eventually. Sorry, excuse me 1 second.
He'll take his phone out while she's like doing stuff and like scroll through some social media or something. But like, maybe even like put a post up in like whatever your version of Nextdoor is, with like everyone Dave's missing. Like he'll just put a post up in like England next door.
Oh right, okay, like a community notice, online notice. Okay, yeah, cool. So she looks up and she said he was actually in last Saturday. I come to think of it, I kind of remember it now. He went up to do his usual looking through some of the public records, and came back down and ran off quite quickly. He didn't say where he was going.
They have to do with the mill, you think?
The mill?
Yeah, we were just at the mill. There's another group there too.
There was
For
trouble
Dave.
at Mill.
What were you doing at the mill looking for? I assume you're looking for Dave. What were you doing at the mill?
Oh, we went to his apartment and talked to his roommate. Said he'd been there.
Ah.
He was meeting somebody there. He's looking through public records.
Ah.
No, I'm not sure I feel like... I know you're his sister and all, but I'm starting to feel uncomfortable at telling you any of this, given that you're so comfortable putting up a poster for an anti-Dave league.
I mean,
Are you guys having some trouble? What's up, Jill?
No, I love Dave. You know I love Dave. I'm not, I'm not comfortable doing it, but I think these things need to be done. It's not, they're not outrightly going to attack Dave in the streets, are they? You know, it's especially not if they're sat in the library having a nice, quiet, civilized discussion. We can keep an eye on them here. They can't make too much noise. They can use the private room upstairs. It's, it's.
So what kind of public records was he looking at?
I'm not sure. You'd have to speak to James upstairs.
And you can't tell me who owned the poster.
I'm afraid I can't. I mean, if you hang around long enough, as I say, they come in when they're not officially meeting. They might come in and use the community room upstairs. They might not.
What do you think, Tim?
I'm just going to sort of quite casually lean against the desk and say, I've got this thing going through my mind about somewhere there must have been a quiet little meeting among people in a room somewhere where the Nazi Party was founded. And some librarian put a notice on a notice board about, this new community initiative that keeps these slightly bully boy characters off the streets, and it'll stop them from doing anything really nasty. I don't get how our local library puts a hate crime poster on its board.
Well, I don't. Well, I mean, I'm not saying. I wouldn't say it's a hate crime. It's the anti-Dave League. They're anti-Dave. They're not the let's get rid of all Daves. They're not the let's throw Dave in the local creek club.
Why would you even talk about the local creek? What's going on at the creek?
What's not going on at the creek? Again, you should speak to public records. It's a little Faversham in joke.
Oh. Have they managed to get their new bridge at the creek recently?
I feel like I need to hit that minute of wisdom thing now.
Oh, don't. As they're talking, Nigel's going to come back over with a handful of books, all about feelings of inadequacy and those, the thing where you feel like a faker and all that sort of stuff. And he's trying to hide them against his chest, and pulls out his library card and tries to surreptitiously put them down to take them out. And he's already grabbed a bag to hide them in. And he says in Esperanto to the librarian, he says, are my friends causing you any trouble?
She'll sort of look at them a little bit and just say no. Back in Esperanto, she'll say no. Their heart's in the right place. They're just it's just a difference of opinion.
And he'll say, which you'll recognise the word Dave and things. You guys, I guess. He'll say, the fact I show 2 and 3 on my fingers, and he'll say they're just upset that he's only the second and he's only Dave's third best friend. I think it's getting to them.
That's understandable. There's she'll say to you in Esperanto that you can tell them that there's talk of a not best friends of Dave club support group meeting here. It's not the first meeting hasn't happened yet, but I'm not sure whether anyone's actually going to turn up, frankly.
Nigel looks at his two friends and sort of laughs and says to the librarian, "Well, it looks like they've just started their first meeting."
She'll smile and give you a slightly disapproving look, but she finds it amusing.
I'm going to say to the librarian, I'm going to go upstairs and check out the upstairs of the library. But I'll say it to her in Mandoa. If she speaks Esperanto, there's always a chance.
She looks at you.
She looks at you.
And then looks at Cody. And then looks back at Nigel and says, oh, I'm sorry, what did you say? She's speaking English now.
I'll teach you.
Okay. I'm stalking off towards the stairs to head upstairs. Keeping a weather eye out, obviously, for Drake and the ducklings.
Perfect. Are the rest of you going with, or are you staying, or are you... What would you like to do?
I will once you scan my books in, and I can put them into a bag to take with me. So I'll have a little I have a little carry bag by my side full of the books, and I'll follow Tim up.
Perfect. She takes your card and jots down a few details, gets the books written down, and then you're free to join. And Cody
waits for them to go, gives one final disappointed look at Jill, shakes his head, and walks after his friends.
Oh, not the slow head shake.
Yeah.
SMH.
The librarian sort of just you can see inside that her heart breaks a little bit, and she's a bit shocked by the scale of the disapproving look that you just gave her. She pulls her glasses slightly down onto her nose and then looks down and continues reading her book.
Cody catches up with them, and he kind of like mutters under his breath in their direction, like, yeah, she goes like 5,000 miles over for her oil change. It's not very responsible.
That's why you took an instant dislike to her. That explains a lot now.
And she does. It's true.
I'm not pleased with the librarian.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. She might be Dave's sister, but she didn't pick anything up from him.
No. No. She's got just nothing. She's nothing like Dave, frankly.
No.
So yeah, I'm sort of trotting upstairs to see if Drake's up there with his crew, and if there is the legendary upstairs librarian.
Okay, yeah, so perfect. Are you taking the lift or the stairs?
Stairs, I think.
The upstairs librarian is much posher than the downstairs librarian.
Yes, upstairs, downstairs. But it's a library.
This is England. That's how that works. Yes.
Yeah. So you go through the door and you walk up these very white plain stairs. Every now and then there's a notice board that just says it's like library adverts. So it's read books at your local library, etc., etc. And you spiral up a couple of flights. It's quite tall downstairs with the bookshelves.
Yep.
And space above. So you spiral up a couple of times, and there's a singular plain door with a bit of glass in that has a brass black small little sign that says public records.
Okay.
And you go through. I assume it's the only stairs.
Is that the only door on this level?
It is at this point.
Okay.
Yes. And if you go through the door, you come out into quite a reasonably small room with a door off to the left, the door off to the right, and a desk in front of you. behind which stands a younger-looking man. And he looks up as you enter.
Is he
and
Dave's
says,
brother?
says, "Hello, good day. How may I help you?"
I'm interested in some public records.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place, my friend. And he gestures behind him at what is actually nothing, but there is another door behind the desk, presumably with public records behind it.
Excellent.
Which records were you after?
That's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked it. I don't know the answer, but that's not a problem because you do.
He frowns slightly at you, and I do.
Yes, you do. You don't know you do, but you do. And this will go really, really smoothly once I explain how that's true. You see, I'm interested in the same public records that Dave came in to look at back at the weekend.
Which weekend are we talking?
The weekend just gone, Saturday, I think it was.
I see. I'm going to have to. This is quite unusual. I don't think I've ever had anybody come in before and ask to see records that somebody else has seen. I know. I'm going to have to just make a quick phone call, just make sure that this is, this isn't any kind of scam or slight on Dave. I wouldn't want to be giving up information about Dave without his consent. You understand, of course.
Not. I mean, Dave is my very best friend, and I'm just worried about him.
Oh, and I'm his. And he turns around, walks off through the door, and he's gone for 10 minutes. If you take it that long, if you want to do anything whilst you're waiting.
Yes. The doors left and right. Do they have like those little glass windows in them?
One of them does. One of them has a WC sign on the outside.
Okay.
But no window.
I'm actually quite relieved about that then, if you'll forgive the pun.
That was a good one.
The one that has the little window, I'm just going to go and peer through the window and see if that's the public meeting room space that we heard about, and find out if Drake and the Ducklings are in there. But I'm going to sort of just peer through, not knock on it or open it or anything, just see what's going on inside.
Yep, sure. You look through. Sorry, excuse me, briefly. You look through the window, and there are some people in there, but it's not Drake and the Ducklings.
Mm-hmm.
One of them sort of catches your eye as you're looking through, and then puts their head down and not avoids, but stops making eye contact with you.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I shall walk back to the desk and await the return of the posh librarian.
Wonderful.
The very slightly delusional one.
Do either Nigel or Cody want to do anything in there?
It's just the delusion of the upper classes, Tim. That's all. They always think they're the best. I really need a wee. Can I get a wee, please?
Of course you can. In game or are we?
No, in game.
Just checking.
Nigel's bladder's not as strong as mine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cody's scrolling through all of the notifications that his post on
Thousands.
British Next Door, generated. All the
Yeah.
oh my god, what's happening? He's just managing it. Like, we don't know, but we're looking. Anybody got any information? Let me know.
Yeah.
You know, and they're sort of like just like scrolling through for the 10 minutes that we're waiting, just sort of scrolling through like the clues that people are throwing out and like kind of bouncing them off Nigel and Tim, like, yeah, this guy says he saw Dave here. Everyone's sending their condolences. It's just like this quiet, like rapid fire, little bits of nothing clues that aren't very helpful, probably. Unless you decide that there was one in there.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's quite a lot. I mean, there's for a small town, there is a high percentage of thoughts and prayers messages
Yeah.
that come back to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people just throwing out information like, tagging other people in it, or oh yeah, my auntie's cousin's sister's nephew's boy saw him down the pub last night. He's not missing. What are you talking about? There's a few, messages like that where somebody has apparently, the word has spread fast and somebody's seen him recently and there's no trouble whatsoever. But differently, of course. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of other. I mean, you could. It's entirely up to you whether you consider them leads or not. The one says, I saw him going to the bowling alley with a group of people late last night. And another one says, I saw him 4 days ago getting dragged out of a car at Weehall. And then another one says, I saw him 4 days ago. He was down the creek talking to some strange looking guy. There's a few like that, and then nothing.
He private messages the people who said they saw him dragged out of a car.
Yeah.
And the people who said they saw him down by the creek.
Okay, cool. It might take a little bit of time.
I don't expect an immediate reply. Just like, that's an automatic like, tell me more.
Yeah, cool. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Nigel, you walk up to this door that says WC and you open the handle and you open it and it is one tiny little room off this other room that is a toilet with a toilet and a hand sink and one of those pull down towels that recycles itself.
No.
And that's about.
Is there a
window.
bin? Is there a bin?
There's a window at the end. There's a little bin. Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there
bin?
Is there anything in the bin?
Do you open it up?
Yes.
I mean, there's a plethora of things in the bin. There's wrappers. There's like the clear cellophane wrapper from cigarette packets. There's a couple of chocolate bar wrappers. I'm not sure what they're doing in the toilet bin, but
good place for eating.
They are there. There's some scraps of paper. There's random junk in the bin, as you would expect.
Anything written on scraps of paper?
Yeah, there's a few. So you pick one out and it just has a few dates and initials. There's one that's a receipt for an overdue library book.
And tossed in the library as well. The irony of that.
Yeah. And there's also a sorry, give me 1 minute. Make sure I get this right. There's also a handwritten note. You recognise the handwriting as Dave's handwriting. Clearly, the public records department of the library, or the local council isn't very well used, and neither is their toilets. And as such, their bins are not emptied very regularly. But it has a year written on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Apologies. Which says 19. Let me just check something for continuity.
Aha. Yes. We're all about continuity.
Mm.
Well, I don't want to say something and then get called out about it on the internet.
Well, absolutely.
The internet's not a place
1972.
like that. Okay.
1972.
Yes.
Okay.
84. What Olympics was in 72, Ben?
Munich.
Munich.
Olga Corbett, Mark Spitz, the Munich massacre.
Of course, you're a big fan of Olga Corbett. That's why you know. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. And is that all that's written on it? 1972.
It also has a question mark, and then a dot, and then an S dot. And it also, at the very, very bottom, has 29/2. 29/2.
29/2. The 29th of the 2nd. Oh. Nigel sort of come running out of the toilet a bit too excitedly. Hand the note to Cody, and then turn around and said, "I forgot to go to the loo. Take this," and then vanishes back into the toilet to actually go to the loo.
Perfect. It's as you run in that the records keeper, James, comes back out from the door, adjusts his shirt and tie, and walks up smartly to the desk and says, I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to discuss that, unless, of course, Dave is with you, or you have written consent from Dave.
You didn't reach him? We know, because he's not answering his phone.
Oh, no, I wasn't, sorry. My miscommunication. I wasn't calling Dave, I was calling my line manager, just to make sure that whether I was allowed to give out that information or not.
What about
Above
this?
my pay grade.
Can you show us a public record from February 29th, 1972?
Oh, was there a February 29th?
Yes.
Oh, well done, Ben.
I certainly can. Do you want births, deaths, marriages?
Property exchanges?
Property exchanges I can certainly do. Or any other records that we have here.
Fantastic.
Which would you like to look at?
Let's just start at the beginning and go through to the end and everything that happened on that leap day.
When you say beginning.
This is what we're doing today. We are looking at February 22nd, 29th. February 29th.
It's February the 29th,
Oh, no.
1972.
We have
Anyone
nothing
born,
better to
anyone
do than to
died,
find Dave.
anyone married, the local newspaper of that date. See if there's anything in that. We're going to look for any deeds of property ownership, any new council bills passed, anything that would indicate a new business deal in the neighborhood, the new opening of a business, anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with one and work through to the end. We don't mind which order they come, just keep them coming.
He looks at you blankly, and he's almost scared, and he just says, "Do you realize how many documents that is?
Don't you want to find Dave? Aren't you his best friend?
That room back there is full." You saw the library
records?
downstairs, right? It's a mirror of the library, minus this little section, and that it's full of filing cabinets.
I don't doubt it.
We keep records for a long time, but that's going to be a reasonable amount of.
Nigel comes out of the toilet. It's like, it's only the 29th of February.
This is a 316 person town.
Yes,
There's a limited number of things that can have happened on one day in 1972.
Yeah.
that is certainly true. But we don't keep them. I mean, we keep them in date order, but we don't file them by date. You understand? It's going to take me a while to find the 29th for each record that we hold, and I'm happy to do that. I'm just
Let's
so long
start
as you
with the
understand.
local papers, and while for that day,
Good call.
and while we're looking through the local papers, you can spend a bit of time in the back there hunting out births, marriages, deaths, and council proceedings.
Well, actually, now you mention it, the local papers are downstairs on the and Ewan forget the name of the thing that they're called, but you know those
Microfiche.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
All right, why don't you get started on your search and we'll go look at the microfiche.
Yep.
Certainly, I mean, I can certainly find some things back there quite quickly. So, if you want to head off, I'll just start piling it up, or it's up to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go get working.
Oh, one more thing.
Columbo him.
One more thing. Pulling on my raincoat, as you do.
One more thing.
Just one more thing. You haven't seen Jamie Drake, have you? Thought I saw his car outside.
He looks at you. Who?
Oh, fair enough. If you don't know him, you don't know him.
No, and nobody else has been up here today. It's. I would say it's a quiet day, but honestly, it's like that most days.
There are people in that room right now.
Aside from the people in the room.
Who are the people in the room, James?
In the community room.
Yes, James.
I think it's just a local group. They get together and they talk through some things.
Oh,
I'm not entirely sure what they hire the room through the library.
Nigel marches over, knocks on the door twice and opens it if it's openable.
Mm-hmm.
Pokes his head through. He says, "Hello."
And a group of heads look up from the table who are all sort of jotting things down. Hello, good day. Are you here to join us?
I am. I'm glad I caught you. May I pull up a seat?
And then an elderly gentleman at the head of the table sort of takes lead of the conversation and says, "Yes, please. Somebody find him a seat. There aren't actually spare seats around the table, but they're stacked up around the side, and somebody else, another elderly gentleman, sort of dithers over to the side and picks up a chair and puts it down, and you can join them."
Thank you. I have no idea what it's about, but it sounds quite fun. I'm sorry, I didn't come prepared. I didn't bring anything. If there's anything I need, I hope you've got an extra copy.
A lady next to you rips out a sheet of paper from her notepad and just says, "It's okay, darling. I always, bring a spare." And she holds up a pen and offers you the pen.
Oh, thank you, my dear. That's really helpful. Okay. Oh, I'm ready to be excited.
And all of their heads sort of go back down again with their pens in hand, and the gentleman at the head of the table says, "And now for item number 5 on the agenda, the grass cutting schedule. I think we all agreed needs to be moved up to once a week over the summer, and then we can reduce it in the winter." And increase the other gardening that happens during the winter. And there's a nod of yes.
Oh, this is good. Nigel's a gardener. Oh yes. His eyes like. Ah.
There will be no survivors.
And he looks at.
I want to use all my skills to make good suggestions about how often the mowing should take place. So I don't know if any of you have noticed how well maintained the graveyard around the church is, but that's where I work, and if I please, this is fascinating. Carry on, and I'm happy if we fade away from Nigel onto the others, but he's very happy for a little while.
Okay, perfect. He briefly just looks over his shoulder and says, "So David, do you think now we should vote on that, shouldn't we? They should make that official." And the man sort of nods. They're taking minutes, and then we fade away and go to the others. Are you both heading back downstairs?
Yeah.
Certainly. Yep.
Wonderful. You head back downstairs. You saw the computers lined up, and right at the very end of that desk, where there's a couple of old desktop computers, there are also a couple of apologies, Ben. What was the name? Microphage. Screens, and if you wish, you can approach the librarian to receive
Yes, indeed.
the information you're
I
after.
I shall
Copies you're after.
stride over, because the last time we ended on such good terms, and say, Jill, need your help.
She looks up from her back again, pushes the glasses onto the bridge of her nose, and yes, how can I be of assistance?
I need the local papers from the 29th of February 1972. And probably effectively a week either way, I guess.
Okay, certainly. Do you want the Sunday press as well?
Yes,
if we're going.
please.
You know, I can do that. It might take a while. I'm not sure what sort of room what sort of order the room's been left in. But give me a few minutes. And I'll bring those back to you.
A few minutes I can do.
And she potters off, and she comes back with a box of the film that you're after. Hands it over and says, "There you are. Can I just jot down the your library card number for records?"
Yes, absolutely. I shall haul out my library card and show it to her.
Perfect. And she'll just make a quick note of the numbers on the sides of the books and the number on your card, and you're free to have a look at the film as you wish.
She'll wander over to the microfiche machine. Are you coming with, Cody?
Yep.
Before I actually do anything else, I just want to make sure that the number on the film reel inside matches the one on the box.
Okay. Yes, it does.
Excellent. Then
In fact, they all.
Yep. I shall spin out the reel and attach it to the machine. Wait until it's properly fitted, because you don't want to burn your fingers on the lamp while trying to do that. Then fire the thing up. I've done that wrong before. Then fire the thing up and give it its sort of 30 seconds or so, and then start scrolling through the thing.
Wonderful. What are you looking out for?
There is a sort of a series of possibilities. This is microfiche on a reel rather than a flat sheet, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing is any reference, obviously, to Dave himself. I mean, his birth, for example, or anything like that, clearly. But also any reference to the mill, whether it opened or closed, or whether something was happening there. And I think more generally, anything that in a small town would be genuinely unusual, anything that leaps out at you, like, headline about plague of locusts or air crash in center of town, rather than, cat wins best cat trophy or cat up tree trophy or whatever.
Oh, so you're looking for like Donnie Darko kind of stuff.
That's the thing. I'm looking for anything really unusual in the first scan through, because I've read a lot of local papers and most of them are pretty samey, week on week.
Yes, and you certainly this paper certainly fits in with what you would expect from that. If I'm honest, there is nothing. There's certainly nothing in the record of Dave's birth. It's far. You would know Dave is not quite of that age. It would probably be too early.
Yeah, figures.
Cody would especially know, having seen his driver's license on occasion when dealing with his car and whatnot. So there's nothing at all relating to Dave because he wasn't born yet, and there is nothing out of the ordinary. There's certainly no paranormal activity or
right,
anything else odd like that. No mass murders or serial killer on the loose or anything else. The mill is mentioned once in sort of, it's a bit of a local puff piece about the state of the town and how the mill's been closed for a reasonable amount of time and there are no plans to do anything with it anytime soon.
Okay.
But that's
so the mill was already closed in 1972 and had been for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Anything about the creek?
Yeah, it's worth a thought, isn't it?
Someone said they saw him by the creek.
Yeah.
Is it Mohican, maybe?
I suppose we can do a quick scan for anything creek related and anything to do with the bowling alley, I guess, and that storage place we store, just in case that's where that was when it opened or something like that.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So storage, creek, bowling.
Why not?
Yeah, no problem. That's fine. These are how methodical do you want to be? You taking your time with this?
Well, I think the reality is we're going to have to wait a while for upstairs lad to be done, so we might as well take our time and scan it through. Yes.
Cody's like really just, he has not done a lot of research with microfiche, so he's just like really fascinated with this and like peering over his shoulder and occasionally catching glimpses of like gossip about old people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of cackling a little bit about it.
Go ahead and make a roll or a flip or however you would like to do it for me.
Okay.
Just to see how thorough your search is.
That's a 4, so that's a success, right?
That is indeed a success. So you go through and you find a couple of pieces about weekly events at the bowling alley. They seem more like adverts than anything else.
Okay.
There's mention of the creek, but it's sort of this happened at the creek. There's no big, event. It was just police catch shoplifter at creek, small town sort of stuff. Nothing major. And there is no mention whatsoever of we store.
Okay.
It's, however, as you're getting to the end, it's about this sort of time that Jill comes back over to you and she says, I've just had a phone call from James upstairs. He's got everything together. that you requested. It seems there wasn't as much information as he'd previously thought, and he was able to find it quite quickly.
Okay. In that case, we will. I think for the time being, at least, I'm done with the microfiche. I mean, we can always come back and look at it again if we find another clue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll spool it back on, pack it away carefully, and hand it back to Jill. And then, set off upstairs and find out what we can do up there, because you never know. James might have something for us.
Perfect. She says, "Thank you. Do you want me to keep this? Are you finished with it? Do you want me to put it away?"
I wouldn't put it away just yet. We might need to come back and check something, but
I'll keep it close by.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And she wanders off back to the desk, and you head upstairs. And as you get to the front counter, James has a reasonably small pile of brown folders with what you can only assume are public records inside. He sort of looks to you and says, "I'm sorry, I would offer you the community room for you to look through. It's in use. It would probably be okay if you sat at the back and were quiet. If you need a table and some chairs to go through this.
At this point, Nigel bursts out.
You're welcome to do it here as well."
Nigel's going to burst out of that room. I'm assuming the meeting carried on along that same sort of vibe. He's not come across anything weird.
Certainly nothing weird. You do find out partway through that you are in fact at a meeting of the Village Green Preservation Society.
Oh, God bless vaudeville and variety.
So there was a lot of talk about, maintaining the grass and youths hanging around and what could they do with the Village Green going forward.
Nigel's going to put in his oars worth, and then he'll sort of look down at his watch, and like, oh, look at the time. Thank you so much for having me. Let me know when your next meeting. Here's my details. I'd love to join again. And then that's where he bursts out with gleaming happy eyes as the two are talking to James.
Excellent stuff. Okay.
But of course, you're welcome to look through them here. There's only a hand for you. There wasn't actually much that occurred.
Nice fuzzy person.
He wants me to turn the electric blanket back on, but he's got to wait.
So, yes, let's take a poke through the materials.
Yeah.
I shall grab something at random and start looking for 29-2, please.
Wonderful, perfect. The first thing you, rather than going through all this individually, make another roll for me.
Okay.
Just to see if you can extract any relevant information from what is there.
That's a 2. So,
wonderful.
Success.
Which is a success. If the other two want to make a roll as well, we can see if we can get you anything extra.
I've hit a tails this time, which is my success.
Excellent.
Nice.
Dub success.
Oh, I have bouncy dice now.
Bouncy dice?
Of course, if you wish to spend a luck, you could also spend a luck. Sorry, I should have said that beforehand to just succeed.
Oh, no, I fail. Got a 1.
Okay, cool. But you guys got 2 between you. So you come across various deeds and a couple of house sales, a couple of deaths, and you find in particular a birth that seems to ring a bell with Nigel. For a sorry, let me just double check this. The initials certainly match the initial, or the second initial matches the second initial on the scrap of paper. Oh, yeah. There was in fact only one birth on this day, but it is for a Quinton Strickland.
Quinton Strickland. Oh.
And you
I know him. So, or know of
you
him.
all don't recognise the first name, but you certainly recognise the surname.
Strickland. Guys, Strickland. We know Strickland.
Yeah. Why is Dave
St-
interested in him?
Strickland is in fact the surname of the head teacher at the secondary school.
He's the head teacher at the secondary school.
I
Don't
don't
remember.
know. I don't know what the American equivalent of that is.
High school.
High school.
Well, high school or middle school. Our secondaries cover both, I think.
Yeah.
11 to 18.
Yeah. 11 to 18-year-olds.
Oh, yeah. That's middle school's 11 to 13, and high school's 13 to 17.
Yes. So yeah, that bracket. Strickland. Okay. So
Dave went to Bowen school. Why would
beyond
he... knowing
knowing what he does for a living, do we know anything else about Strickland? I mean, is there a reason we know him, so to speak?
You know, other than the fact that he is the head teacher at the secondary school, he is personally notable for the tight ship that he runs, and being a very strict head teacher. Unless you want to have had any other particular run-ins with him during the course of your lives, that would be the only thing I think you know him for, potentially.
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. Strickland.
Strickland.
He's a bit of a bully sometimes.
Why would Dave be looking up Mr. Strickland these days?
So Strickland was born on a leap day
in 1972.
In fact, thinking back at it, you know from school that he was born on a leap day, and he used to get quite a lot of stick from the students about it. Certainly a few years further back when, the students were older than him technically.
Like when he's only 10
by how many
or something
birthdays
like
he's
that.
had.
Yeah.
And it's probably part of the reason why he comes down so hard on that sort of raucous behaviour.
I mean, the guy is about to turn 10.
Exactly, right? So
yeah.
12.
12, yeah.
13.
If we're in the modern era.
Yes, sorry, yeah. 50,
I'm going to be 40.
50 years.
I was 52.
Exactly. Very, very aware of the years when it comes to your own birthdays.
Yes, I've already made plans. It involves 40 crab rangoon. That's my plan for my 40th.
Oh,
we'll still be in quarantine, so there won't be a party.
Just the cats.
Yeah, they don't get any.
Okay. So yes, he's. Well, I'm tempted to say we've got to go and find the guy. This is still obviously daytime and what have you. He's presumably at the school, isn't he?
Yeah, let's go find him. This is the only clue we're getting here, so.
Yeah, let's go hunt this guy down. Maybe he was the one that contacted Dave. Let's do it.
Yeah. We've got to go to Western Chardonville Denton Comprehensive. Chardonville Denton Western Chardonville Denton Comprehensive.
Yeah.
Up the shards.
All right. As we hand over the folders to James, Cody will pat him on the shoulder and be like, "We're gonna find Dave. Then maybe we'll all go for a pint. We'll discuss who Dave's best friend is." He says it in a friendly way, though.
Yeah. James will look back at you and say, "Well, thank you for all the help you're doing for the community and Dave. Mm-hmm. It is appreciated by
the
majority of us."
You hear anything else about Dave? Just give me a ring.
I will do.
You
Thank
manage
you.
the public records. You know my number.
He looks a little bit awkward.
Numbers in the book.
I call you.
It's a fair point.
Cody owns a business. He can be found.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. Yes. Going to do a quick scan of any corners of the library downstairs we didn't poke our heads into, just in case there are drake and ducklings about.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Perfect. Make a roll for me.
That's a 6.
Wonderful, which is a success. You can't see them, but as you're sort of going around the corner back towards the self-help books that Nigel was looking at earlier, Jill suddenly approaches out of nowhere and just says, can I help you? Are you looking for anything in particular?
Curious about something. You know Jamie Drake?
Yes. Yeah, I know the person.
He came in not that long ago. I mean, probably an hour or two ago now, but not that long ago. So when did he leave?
I mean, I wasn't timing, but if I was going to say when, I'd say probably about 10 seconds after he entered. He took one look at the books, and him and his dull-headed friends ran out the way they came in.
Then you couldn't show me which area of the books they were looking at, could you?
No. They when I say look at the books, they didn't pick any up. She chuckles to herself a little bit. They sort of realised where they were and just ran.
Yeah, I don't blame them. It's got to be intimidating a place like this when you can't read. Yeah.
Yes, I imagine they weren't used to the environment, shall we say?
Okay. Thank you for the help.
You haven't had any trouble with them, have you?
Oh no, none at all. I just think they're in the process of trying to form this local hate group, which, as I understand it, and I don't know the details, is called something like the Anti-Librarian Club, and they're planning to murder librarians. It's something like that. I don't know.
What?
It's just, yeah, I know it sounds horrifying, and I was going to do something about it. But then today I had a conversation with somebody who told me that these kind of things should be allowed to fester away and build in their own time, because that way people will stop thinking about it.
Well, don't you worry. I'm going to have words with my manager, and we'll say that this horrible group never comes to fruition.
I think you definitely should. And while you're at it, if you could, as an addendum, suggest that maybe the Anti-Dave League could also be, I mean, I'm tempted to say disbanded, perhaps more importantly, reported to the local police and possibly bugged at their next meeting. Just suggesting.
And she pauses for a minute and sort of calms down a bit and nods gently towards you as if she's gauged your point and it has been taken on board somewhat, at least for the time being.
She's reasonably bright, and let's be honest, I wasn't being all that subtle.
No. No, not at all.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah,
perfect.
I'm done and on my way.
If you are leaving, then how are you going to get there? Are you going in car or are you walking?
How far is it?
It's not far. It's probably a 10-minute, 15-minute walk.
Nice to get some exercise.
Are we at a good place for like a 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we probably are.
That's sorry, it's gone on a while.
That's okay.
But,
I just
as soon as
Frank
you
is
leave.
still lurking. He wants that blanket back on.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to suggest we probably take the car, not because the walk's long, but because we might need to scoot away in a hurry from where we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not leave the transport 10 minutes away from where we are when we get our next lead, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Perfect.
Okay.
So you get in the car, and there we will take our break, and afterwards we will come back with some more stories about your characters and Dave.
Super.
Oh no, I have to think of some Dave stories. Okay.
Or just one each.
One each. Perfect.
But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you all the VODers who don't even know they're watching yet. It's muchly appreciated. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I can work out what things I need
Give
to
or
click,
take.
we'll do that. Cool.
Cool.
Nice one. Okie dokie. Right, I'll get some music on. Right, where is it? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I can't find the right bits. Let's just do that. Let's turn that off. Let's take that off. Let's turn some music on there. There we go. And let's turn us off. And that'll do. That'll do. That'll do.
Cool.
Perfect. Okay. 5 minutes. Hello, welcome back. We're Boys from the Baltic Star. It's Saturday night / Sunday morning, depending on what's going on. I'm Luke. That's Ben. That's Sparrow. That's Ewan. And we are here to bring joy and happiness. And I've got to show my guns because Sparrow redeemed guns out.
Well, we stand for Ewan, so we got to give Luke some attention too.
Quite
Yeah,
right.
definitely. It
Sadly,
has to be done.
Sadly, it was done while all the things were muted, so we didn't get to hear the John Cena wrestling intro. Anyway, on that bombshell, Ewan, back to you, my friends.
Thank you very much. We are here for some joy, hopefully, as long as you managed to save Dave. Just before we broke, you were leaving the library towards your car, I believe you all agreed, to drive to the local secondary school, following up the lead of the headmaster of the secondary school, whose birth records were of some note to Dave from what you've found. As you get into your car and you pull out of the car park, you drive off. It's not too far. It's only a couple of minutes down the road. But as you're driving down the road, you think back to yourselves about some more magical, fun times that each of you has had with Dave. If you would either like to tell the whole group or keep it to yourself, it's up to you. But now would be the time to tell a story.
Well, I will tell this one. I was got up one morning and I heard this noise outside the bedroom window. And I didn't think anything of it, but then a bit later I heard it again and then again, and I went out into the garden to see what on earth was going on out there, and I saw this pigeon up in the tree, which was seemed to got its foot caught in the in a little bit of the twig of the side of the tree and couldn't get it loose.
Oh, nice.
And it was occasionally letting out this sort of flutter of its wings and a bit of a movement. And I thought, oh God, don't know what to do about that. So naturally I called Dave because he always knows what to do. And a few minutes later he turned up with a ladder and carefully managed to retrieve the pigeon from the tree and get it safely down to the ground. And frankly, the pie was also delicious.
Oh,
Very good.
yeah. Wow.
An insight into Dave.
I honestly don't know when Dave sleeps. He's always rescuing somebody in the middle of the night.
And then the next story, whoever wishes.
Speaking of the middle of the night, I went for a stage after work. As you know, I'm sort of gardener, groundskeeper at the local church. Services 9, 11, and 1 on a Sunday. If any of you are ever interested, I'd finish work and I'd sit in the graveyard, crack open a couple of cans, and just sit back and gaze up at the star in a slightly boozed up way, just looking up there, just being alone in my thoughts. Very quiet out there, that part of town. And if I was lucky, a bit of natural wildlife would come by. Every now and again I'd see a hedgehog even, or a rabbit might appear briefly and then scamper off. Something a bit bigger. And a couple of times Dave, if he had nothing on, he'd come and sit with me. He'd always bring a 4-pack, and he'd only have one, let me have a few. And I remember this one night we were sat there, and a fox came over. They can come within a few feet of a man. I don't know if you know that, especially if they don't think you're a threat. And and obviously he didn't think Dave was a threat because the fox came over right up to us, like looked at me funny, paused for a bit to check, and then wandered right up to Dave and just nuzzled into Dave's side. And I thought, wow, this guy just communes with nature. And I was so enraptured with that moment.
How was the pie?
Tim, come on. How dare you? You know me better than that. You know I prefer my meat straight off a barbecue, especially when Cody's been cooking it.
Yeah, true.
We love having you over, though.
Oh, it's a joy. I appreciate it. It's nice being over at my second best friend's house.
You know, he really does care for you too. There was, I always seem to be missing something for a barbecue. And there was that one time, I know you like that particular brand of bratwurst, and it couldn't be found. Couldn't be found anywhere in town.
No,
I mean, there's one grocery store. They didn't have it.
Terrible.
Yeah, and he just and I, we were getting ready for the barbecue. Everyone arrives a little late. Dave was on time. He always is.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Nigel sausages aren't here. And I was like, I couldn't get them. And he just picked his keys right up off the counter and he headed out the door. And by the time you got there, they were on the grill. It's quite a guy.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was so stressed.
Yeah.
And he came through.
Mm.
Yeah, what a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope we can find him. I hope we get into the end of this search. I'm getting quite nervous.
Yeah.
It is becoming a worry.
They were all wonderful Dave-related stories that I wholeheartedly believed and gave me a very good feel for Dave. You can all receive 1 additional luck points.
Oh, hooray!
For such good story weaving. Or linking. Or both.
Well, I think we're all going to be much closer friends after this, too.
I think so.
Yes.
When we all agree that I am Dave's best friend.
Wow.
I think that might be one of those things that will stop us becoming really close friends. Yes.
People always do say, Cody, that you're caught in your own world sometimes.
That's a reply that you just made. I like to think I'm pretty down to earth. I spend a lot of time rolling on a trolley across it.
I know it's the fact that you do that after work for fun that worries me the most. Many times when I see you rolling out of Leonardo da Kimchi's with a takeaway off to the creek.
On your back on
Are you
a trolley.
serious, Stevie? What's in those cans? What's in those cans you're drinking?
It's perfect. And as you all sit there in the car driving along and chuckling to yourselves about the various banter that you're having, you pull into the school and you get into the car park. There is a car park at the school. It's quite small, but it's there. And you can basically head wherever you want. There are signs to reception. There is a reception area, but I imagine that most of you went to this school, if not all of you. So you would know your way around. You would know your way to the headmaster's office. You probably, depending on how good a kid you were at school.
Yep.
But you step out the car, nothing untoward is happening. It's a regular school day.
I'm entirely comfortable heading off to the headmaster's office to Brooke Strickland in his den, so to speak. But I do just want to cast a quick eye across the car park and see if Drake's car is here.
Yeah, of course you can. It is not.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just debating how difficult.
Whether or not that required a roll, yeah.
You saw the car, pretty up close and personal.
Yeah.
Very.
I think that's quite an easy
And then we
check.
take it across the town for a while, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Given the size of the car park.
Okay. So he's either been and gone or he hasn't been. Excellent. Then as far as I'm concerned, it's off to Strickland. Unless anyone else has got a better idea.
I want to redeem cheer for Sparrow, something I've just created, where we all get to cheer and clap for Sparrow for 10 seconds.
Really?
Hooray!
That's lovely.
Hooray!
Thank you. Thank you. I was gonna say I haven't done anything yet, but
You'll need to, yeah, that's a good redemption. I like
It
that.
is a good redemption. Yes.
Good points. Good channel points. Well spent. Okay, perfect. You head towards his office down the corridors of the school, passing several old classrooms that throw back some nostalgia, and general toilets that throw back some nostalgia of bunking off lessons, and depending on who you are, obviously. You get to the office and you knock on the office door, and his PA, who you are familiar with, it's the same lady that's probably been doing it for the last 200 years at the school. Says enter, and you can go in if you want.
Absolutely. Let's head in.
Mhm.
It seemed weird to knock on the door and then not go in, didn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you remember, Tim? That's what we used to do at school. Knock on the door and run. How we've matured.
Yes. Now we're randomly threatening librarians. I mean, we've come a long way.
She kind of deserved it.
She did, I feel, yes. Yeah, it wasn't without just cause.
Used to have a little crush on her, but that's over now.
Yeah.
Fickle.
So yes, heading in, no problem.
And you head in, and she says, hello, and then she sort of catches the three of you, and she looks at Tim and Nigel in particular and says, you decided not to run away this time. Come in. What can I do for the three of you?
Not much wrong with your memory, except I'm Bob and he's Graham. But other than that,
she just taps the side of her head and shoots daggers at you with her eyes.
So, yes, we're here to talk to Strickland, please.
Strickland's not in. He's not in at the minute. He's not in his office. He's taken a couple of personal days recently, though he has still been around the school. You know what he's like, and he likes to run a tight ship around here. I think he's over at the temporary. He's over in the temporary classrooms, over on the playground, or one of those.
Yeah, I remember when those were installed in 1837. They said they were temporary. Yep.
Any year now.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll go and try and find him there. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Behave.
Thank you, miss. Did you
No
know,
running
miss,
in the halls.
I can speak Esperanto now, miss.
And she replies to you in Esperanto, I'll be the judge of that.
I love this town.
I asked her if she speaks Mandoa in Mandoa.
She replies, get out.
In Mandoa?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There is just no getting anything past this woman.
Her memory is, as you say.
Yeah.
And if you wish, you can head over to the temporary classrooms that are on the playground, or the one temporary classroom, I should say, that is on the playground.
Reason not to.
I mean, I'm tempted to say we should hurry over there because we don't want to miss Strickland, and if we do need to come back, we can always come back and knock on the door and run away.
Yeah, like good old days.
Perfect. So you wander through the school, you come out of the one of the exits onto the playground, and you approach. You can see this wonderful porter cabin type temporary teaching arrangement that was installed, as Tim rightly said, way back in the day.
Long ago.
Yes, and has still been there. You're filled with horrible memories of sitting in this classroom of the winter time and
So cold.
not being allowed to have your coats on in the freezing cold, and sitting in this classroom in the summertime and having to keep your ties on all the way up and not being able to undo a button in the boiling heat. And it's probably good for about 1 month a year. It's like a conservatory. And as these memories fill your mind, you approach the classroom, and the blinds. There's a series of windows along all 4 sides. Light is good for keeping people happy and education, and all the blinds seem to be down. And it seems quite quiet.
Guys,
It's
maybe
not playtime.
maybe they're watching that sexy sex egg video that they used to show us.
Yeah.
But neutering your cats?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah. Whenever the teachers were drunk, they put that on instead of trying to teach. So we usually had it twice every Tuesday, once on a Wednesday.
Word for word.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go in.
Let's
We're getting impatient. We're just gonna push in the door.
let's head in. I'm increasingly worried about Dave.
Yeah, this is a bit edgy, fancy.
This is turning into more of a mystery than I was hoping for, and it's going to be a challenge to track him down if we don't get lucky soon.
And those sandwiches are wearing off, so
Yeah. It's getting to about that time. You head up the wooden steps that creak, and you get to the door, and you try the door, and it's locked. You can, however, hear sort of a weird knocking sound inside, not regular. There's not a regular pattern.
is this about to get really dark, Ewan?
Can I attempt?
It's never going to get really dark.
Really
dark. It depends on your definition of really dark, I suppose.
Severed
It's
limbs,
relative, isn't it? We'll see.
Can I attempt my lock-picking skills on the door, Ewan, please?
Yeah, of course you can. You have a skill for that, don't you?
I do. It's one of my main skills.
Um,
That and Esperanto. Key
yeah,
skills.
you know what? There's a couple of locks on the door. It's outside. It's kind of open access. It's not inside the school building, so it will be quite difficult.
That's okay.
But make a roll or spend a luck point if you wish.
I will spend a luck point, please. I can't take them with me.
You certainly can't. Wonderful. You fiddle around with the top lock, and it's quick and it's easy. And get down to the bottom lock, which is a bit more difficult. It's one of those classic old door, round circular key locks, which takes a little bit longer, but you manage to get it open. And the door is unlocked.
Good job.
As you're concerned.
Thanks, guys. Right. We all know I'm the coward, though. Who's going in first?
Well, I think we know who's not the coward. So it's the guy who's Dave's best friend.
Oh, strong talk.
No, Cody,
Suddenly the three of us are wedged in the door as we all.
Yeah, wait.
As you're discussing this, the knocking sound suddenly stops.
Yeah, Cody strides in. Strickland, you in here?
As you open the door, there is no Strickland in sight. However, you see what is a temporary classroom filled with temporary desks and temporary chairs, which have been here since, did you say the 70s, Ben? 80s? Something.
A long time. Yeah.
They've been there a long time. And at the very back of the room, gagged and tied to a chair, you see Dave. And his eyes look He's shaking his head and his eyes look quite wide.
Okay, everyone freeze. He's shaking his head for a reason. Dave, we're here to save you. But he's shaking his head for a reason.
So we turn around and look.
There's nothing behind you other than the steps from whence you came.
Can we see the whole room?
You can. There's a cupboard at the back. There's a you would know this temporary teaching arrangement has been here for long enough. There's a cupboard at the back of the room that keeps some supplies and some books. And you probably can't see underneath all the desks because they're, it's small town Britain and they're crammed in so close that it's hard to get the angle.
I'm going to try something. This is going to be a little bit of a stretch, but I have a skill in body language.
Oh.
You do, but visual communicator.
Yeah. So I'm going to start asking Dave if it's safe to come and untie him, or if there's something we need to worry about, or is there a trap in here, or something that the reason he's shaking his head, is there something he's panicked about? And I'm going to try to understand what his movements and sounds mean.
Okay, perfect. I am going to go ahead and class this as difficult. Not because I think you are not able to do it, but there are varying levels of what you can get from it. So go ahead and make a roll from me. If you fail, then you will get what you still would be able to get from the automatic successes.
Use one of my luck?
You can use a luck and
I'm going to do
automatically succeed.
I'm going to use luck. This feels like one of the times. So because I ended up with 2 luck points after my recent gift of 1. I am now down to 1, and I'm going to use a luck.
Perfect. So you ask him these series of questions. As a couple of things come up, he visibly looks scared, and the rate at which he looks scared certainly increased as you entered the room. Also, when you asked specifically, and I'll give you this because you asked specifically, is it safe for us to untie you? He definitely started shaking his head.
Okay. Is it safe to come into the room at all? Is it safe to approach him?
That at that point he seems unsure.
Okay.
To the best of his knowledge, he doesn't know. You also pick up
any kind of like wires or anything draping beneath a chair or anything like mechanical that's visible at all?
Oh, that is a very good shout. Go ahead and make a roll for me.
Okay.
Or spend a luck point. Entirely up to you. As you are doing this, Tim, you notice that as you ask that last question, Dave is looking at the clock in particular.
That's a success.
Wonderful. You can indeed see some wires that, as you looked behind you, just when he was shaking his head and you suddenly stopped at the door, you turn around and just above the framing for the door, you see some wires running off, and they run off down either side and down under the outer walls of the hut.
Okay.
If you look more closely, I assume you will check it out.
Yeah, immediately investigate that, like step back out.
There's definitely some contact. There's a contact point on the door and the door frame.
Okay. But we've opened the door and nothing happened.
Yeah, but there's a clock.
Nigel's
Okay.
going to look at his watch. What time is it on the watch?
It's about 3:15.
Okay. So it's not like anything's connected to an hour or something like that.
No, but if the clock's running on the basis of when we open the door, and then it's using the clock to be an offset from that,
Oh,
we could have a limited amount of time.
we might need to
You
be
should
quick.
just pick him up and carry him out in the chair then. This place is gonna go. I'm not a bomb expert. He's still like scrolling through his phone, Googling how to defuse a bomb. Which is suspicious and all. But he's definitely looking.
It's complicated.
Why would I have this computer in my hand that could connect to, the world if not to use it?
True.
So
Yeah.
we should just carry him out?
We can try it. I'm slightly worried
Do you
about
say
if-
that? Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Dave starts nodding furiously.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
I mean,
Cody will step in.
he
take
may
a
not
heavy
have
hit.
all the information, but
Well, he's got more than
when
we
he
have.
starts nodding.
He's got more information than we have at this point. So
Honestly, if we let this place blow, we're kind of doing the school a favor, I think. Let's just get him out of here.
yeah. I think I feel confident about it now that Dave has signed off on it.
Mhm.
So
I mean, it's Dave.
You take his head, I'll take his feet.
he's Dave, So so yes, we will barrel across the room and take firm hold of Dave in the chair.
Sorry, go on.
And literally we'll manhandle him to the door as best we can.
Is this all three of you together?
Nigel is going to. I think it might be wise for Nigel to stay at the door and just check in case there's some evil cackling man about to press something or come towards us or something like that, so that I can have a bit of forewarning on everyone else.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So you're keeping.
I think three
a
people
bit
is
of a
too
watch out.
awkward for something that's clearly a line.
Yeah, exactly.
A person
Yeah.
sitting in a chair has 2 points to grab.
One person ends up kind of lifting by their lower back without taking any weight at all, just because they feel they have to. Very awkward. Very awkward.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
If the two people lifting can just make a roll for me quickly, please.
Yeah.
Just to
use
see
luck
how quickly you can use a luck point if you
I
wish
will
to
use a luck point.
Good time for luck.
I'm going to do the same. Why not?
Because
Because I mean, I know it's my last one, but I'm going to do it anyway because this feels like the moment we need to save Dave.
Yes.
yeah, in the title of the game,
It's literally the title of the game. Yeah.
it sounds perfect. And if Nigel could make a roll for me
Yes.
or a flip.
Tails.
Oh.
Okay,
Ah,
perfect. That's fine. So the two of you rush over, pushing the tables and chairs sort of out the way and clearing a bit of space as you go through to Dave to then pick him up, and without even needing to communicate it, one of you grabs the top of the chair, one of you grabs some bottom legs of the chair, and you're out the door before you even realise that you've picked him up. And then you go down the stairs, and the stairs is perfectly smooth. Nobody drops him. You're on the same wavelength. You've definitely got him out of the building, and you're stood at the bottom of the stairs, I suppose.
No.
Nigel, are you following them out?
As I come after him, can I try and pull? Because I'm next to them at this point, I guess. Can I try and pull Dave's gag down or pull it off if it's a sticky thing or something like that, as we're sort of moving away?
Yeah. As you're going away, you can pull his gag down, and as soon as you do that, he says, "Oh, thank goodness you guys. What are you three doing together? Quick, no, don't worry. We've got to run. Get away from this place."
You
It's a
heard
fair
the man.
point.
Keep going.
If it's going to blow, we're currently standing at the door of it. It would be better to be
Yeah.
more distance, I think.
We're just gonna start heading toward the car.
Yep. yeah. We
carrying a man strapped to a chair through a school.
Yes, it's Dave. He's worth it.
That's wonderful.
at this point, if we can head off sort of around the side of the school to actually, head in the rough direction of the car park,
Mhm.
we'll get some distance, because I'm guessing it's not a nuke, whatever they fitted. So distance is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, as you get to the playground door entrance to the school, and you walk through it, and the door shuts behind you as you're going down the corridor, you hear a very earthy rumble, and the window behind you shatters.
Oh,
Okay.
We'll set Dave down and pull the fire alarm.
yeah, I was going to do that as well. Yes,
Well, you can if you want.
No, I like
simply-
it. I love the fact you've done it, because I was thinking the same thing. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
I got very excited.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
perfect.
we're fast becoming close friends, though. Obviously, one of us has a best friend already. So
I always got room for a second.
You pull the fire alarm, and the fire alarm goes off. There's probably about 30 seconds of you walking down the corridor with no one else being around, because I don't know how fire alarms work in America, but small town England, everyone sort of sits around and looks before and waits for that first person to stand up and say, "Actually, I'm leaving now," before they actually do anything.
Generally, the teachers are like, I don't remember something. Have we got a drill today?
Is it drill today? What day is it, children? Yeah. And
Kids
then
don't run out.
eventually,
They're getting their coat. They're getting their things from their bag. They don't want to keep behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then eventually, as you make it down the corridor, there are joyous children laughing and look very happy with themselves that they're not having to sit through whatever boring lesson that they were just in, leaving classrooms. Funnily enough, heading out towards the playground, which is their fire assembly point.
No, what have you done?
well, they'll
Cody.
be turned back around in a moment.
You figure at this point they're smart enough to know what's happened or what's going on, or to not approach.
Ultimately, we're not trying to save them. We're trying to save Dave.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And we're not Dave, so we can't extend our attention like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Can I attempt to untie him? Is he still tied to the chair, right?
You're still carrying, as these children are running past you. The two of them are still carrying, the bottom of the chair and top of the chair each, and
we'll dart
you
into
get a
the
lot of
bathroom.
odd looks.
Just kind of back in there, like get out of the stream.
Put him down, guys. Let's try and get him out of here. We're looking a bit conspicuous.
There's a point at which you pass Mr. Strickland's office, and his PA is coming out of the office and sort of looks at you three and scowls beyond belief. What have you done? And then before waiting for you to answer, she makes her way to the fire assembly point. But she gets the feeling
the day. That's what we did. Save the day.
Save the Dave.
Save the
Dave. And you get into the bathroom, and he's duct taped onto the chair, so it's quite easy. I imagine you guys put some stuff on you to cut him off. And he says, "Oh, thank you.
Dave, we're so relieved to see you."
And he thanks you all personally, and he gives you a warm embrace.
Oh,
once it's been cut from the chair.
So tight.
And a reassuring pat on the back, and says to each of you, I don't know how you did it, but you've saved me."
What happened?
It was my own fault. I went nosing around some personal records for Mr. Strickland. He's we've had a bit of we've had some banter and a few issues recently, but I heard rumor that his first name, he never tells anyone his first name, right? It's Mr. Strickland, regardless of wherever you are. He'll come into work, he's in school. I heard rumor that his first name is embarrassing and would undermine his authority at the school beyond belief.
No.
Turns out he may have got wind of this. I may have spent too much time in the records department at the library trying to find it. And he couldn't take it. I think being in such a position for so long has, slowly been grinding him down. He was fed up of the temporary classroom. That's what he told me. It's been there for ages.
Long time. Since we were here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the term he used was 2 birds with 1 stone. But thank you.
Is he part of the Anti-Dave League? I'm really upset about this Anti-Dave League. I'm upset
No,
you're
they're
allowing
cool,
that
man.
poster to be up.
The Anti-Dave League were okay. Don't worry about the Anti-Dave League.
How could anybody? How could anybody not?
They're okay. They're all good people.
Oh, Dave.
Dave. You're all heart.
Listen, I tell you, oh man, you guys are amazing. I tell you what, Leonardo da Vinci's on me.
Oh,
actually,
lovely.
Oh,
and then back to mine for some chips and drink.
Oh,
wonderful.
Speaking
Wonderful.
our language.
Thanks,
Dave. What a
That is after we call the police about the fact that there's a whole load of young children who are currently under the supervision of a mad bomber, right?
I don't know. I mean, he's long gone. I think he grabbed some chemicals from the chemistry department and jerry-rigged the explosion. But he told me he was leaving town. He's on the next bus out of here. I mean, we can call them and tell them to.
I still think we ought to let the police know.
Yeah, maybe. The school might. Hey, listen.
I feel they'd be curious.
You're the smart guy around here. Let's give him a call then.
Yeah.
No one wants to actually RP any of this dreary as fuck stuff, so we could skip to Leonardo da Vinci's. We do the right thing. It's awful.
Yeah,
they accuse us
cool.
of things. We get mad about it.
Yeah, it's all good. I wasn't going to. In fact, we're coming in closely. Unless you guys have got anything you want to do to Dave, or say to Dave, the 3 of you walk to the car. He gets in the back. Obviously, he's not going to shotgun. And just said, "Do you mind driving, Cody?"
No, not at all. Of course.
It's been a day, and you all get in the car. Wouldn't it be nice by the Beach Boys comes on the radio. Dave looks at you all and says, "Well, here's to best friends," and you drive off to eat your Italian Korean fusion meal in happiness.
And he somehow manages to convince us that he's talking about us when he says his best friend.
He looks at each of you individually in the eye.
Yeah.
Just at the right moment.
At the same time, has he got a lazy eye?
No.
That's why everyone thinks they're his best friend.
Dave can work miracles when it comes to best friendom.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's just that good.
And I think you're right, Cody. The 3 of us are gonna be firm friends from now on.
Mm-hmm.
We've shared a quest together.
Yeah. You look just so comfy in the back seat with your hands on the headrest. It's like a really natural place for you. I like it. We should do some more driving around. Yeah.
Well, as long as Dave's sitting beside me, yeah.
What a guy.
Yes. Now, who's up for hunting down and killing all of the anti-Dave people, right?
Yeah, just don't tell Dave about it.
Well, if we ever do a sequel.
If we ever do a sequel.
Kill
the hunting of the anti-Davers.
Yeah.
Ewan, fantastic, Ewan.
Yeah,
thank you, Ewan. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for putting up with the silliness and the random throwing together nonsensical.
Given the people we threw at you,
Exactly.
You did fantastically. I can't believe Dave is our friend.
If we couldn't part with the silliness, then we'd hate ourselves.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ewan.
Yes, it was lovely and it was quirky and it was enormous fun.
Yeah, it felt cozy and warm and nice.
Yeah.
And anybody who's interested in Save Dave, it is available on Itch, I believe, from Leighton Connor. It's good fun. I changed a couple of the tables around a little bit just to make it a bit more British, but it's very rules light. It's very fun and silly and warm and cozy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, it's
like Dave.
it's lovely story.
Just like Dave.
Just like Dave. Well, I'm going to finish with a Ben resplending. Feels right.
Yes.
In honour of Dave and his resplendence.
Well, I think I've now worked out how to do this, courtesy of Ewan and his poster. So let me get this right, or his banner. If I get this right.
Excellent. That is interesting. You're natural.
Resplending.
How's that?
Yeah. Oh, you're natural, Ben.
Beautiful, Ben. Absolutely beautiful.
I like it.
Just do the Grey Hill pose. And away you
Yes.
go.
It's perfect.
I'm always so excited to play with you. Thank you again for inviting me.
No, thank you so much for playing.
I'm glad I could
it's so
implant
fun.
my very American, unfortunately, character into your British adventure.
Cody was perfect.
Definitely. We needed a Cody.
Like, is that one of those exchange kids?
Yeah.
That turns
An
up in his-
exchange student.
Yeah.
I think that's why he didn't go to school with the two of you.
He sort of came over later.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but thank you so much for joining us. It's been enormous fun. I've absolutely loved this game. Brilliant.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been great to have you, Sparrow.
Thank you, Ewan. I suppose, Ben, that means we've got to let Ewan do another roleplay game at some point because he's not too bad at it.
Well, you don't have to. I'm open to constructive criticism.
Well, I mean, I
As is
I
Dave.
think
There's not enough Dave for me.
I think to be honest,
More Dave.
More Dave.
yeah, Dave only turned up right at the end. There could have been more Dave.
Well, we created the Dave.
The Dave was. Are you saying that Dave was within us the whole time?
The real Dave was the friends we made along the way.
It's true.
Exactly. Yes, I think Ewan should definitely take on a few more of these one-shot type things. I think that would be lovely.
Yeah, we'll do some more stuff.
Fantastic.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you're still around, if you're not, thank you anyway. If you're watching on VOD, thanks, because you can watch whenever you like. But it's been great fun. What is later on today, Luke? In fact, it's Spooky Sunday. We're already on Spooky Sunday, aren't we?
In 22 hours' time. The irony of Spooky Sunday is there's only 15 minutes of Spooky Sunday, and then the rest is on Monday. So, yeah, 11:45 p.m. UK time this evening, Sunday evening. It will be Spooky Sunday. Well, we go back to Man and Madame. There's definitely a man in a bowler hat following me around. Proof. I looked it up. It's true. He's there. I had to do it because I was going mad.
Yeah.
He does. He turns up in certain moments. So I was right all along. Yes. Vindication.
I don't think I'm equipped intellectually to live in a world where Luke's right.
Every now and again,
You just have to forget about it, like all the rest of us do with our trauma.
Look, I'm just like a broken clock. At least every now and again, I have to be right. Just the sheer force of averages.
Twice a day, you're right.
Exactly. Wow, that's pushing it. Not that often. A broken 24-hour clock, maybe.
Right. Yes, it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's wonderful. We will yes, we will do Man and Madame tomorrow
Tomorrow night.
tonight.
Yeah.
And then and that will complete our weekend of stuff.
Yeah.
The circle of life continues, and then you can all have a few days off.
Yeah.
Poison.
Yes. Before CLDing on Thursday, which sadly I think the first ever time, isn't it? I won't be there for the CLD stream live.
Yeah, that's true. Ben's getting his eyes seen too. He's getting implants.
I've got this little medical procedure, which means I can't stare at brightly lit screens afterwards. Only for that day, but it happens to be a CLD day, you see.
Oh, and it's a good one as well.
I'll have to step up. I'll take it down for you.
It's such a lovely game, though. I'm absolutely gripped by the first part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, Spez, I'll have to give you the idea of what the CLDs are.
Oh yeah.
You'll pick up and
it's probably not Clong. It's probably not Clong Clocker death.
No, not in a kind of a sneaky walking sim. No, but I'll go for it with you off. I'll go. And actually, you can just learn about it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Just throw you into the deep end.
Great. That's it's only 3 things to keep track of.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
and they are all represented by a C, an L, and a D. It's not like we've got really off piste and C is something that does not begin with C.
Like the old reading, writing, and arithmetic, the 3 R's.
Yeah, exactly.
The C is actually a K. The L is one that starts with an EL. Like El Salvador. How many times I mentioned El Salvador?
People with acrostics do take some liberties, don't they?
They really do, just to fit their own plan.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're rambling. Let's finish it.
Let
everyone go to bed. All the viewers, the diehards that feel they have to stay here till the very end. We do it nice. Right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Farewell.
Good
Have
night.
a good rest of the weekend.